Um, Now we got a young lady that I reached out just I don't know about 5 months ago, and we chit chatted, talked on the phone, talked online, built a great communication. I think she has something that's really special to say. I think the world needs to hear, and I was excited just to have her on the show, and she's finally gotten here. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome all the way from Long Journeys,
That GPS is the mother, ain't it?
Miss Diana Bellamy. Welcome to the show, Diana. Welcome to Nafi Lounge.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I'm honored. Thank you. I know it took us a little while to connect. I've been everywhere, and I'm just grateful to be here and look at you beautiful people with this smile. And, drove here from West Orange, New Jersey. Mm-hmm. So I took 3 bridges to see you. So you better be real. Exactly.
Thank you.
Listen,
that GPS is the mother,
There's nobody from our communication. There's nobody sitting in this studio that's more happy to have you in this room than I am. Because again, I think you have a unique journey. I think you're building your own brand, and I think that's kind of unique to what we've done here with 950 Lounge, where we're taking a very old medium and creating our own lane.
Right.
So let's get right to it, Diana. Tell the world what you do and why you do it, and what makes you really good at what you do.
Well, I am a motivational speaker. I speak upon 3 different subjects. I mean, I can get into a whole different bunch of realms I can get into, but mostly it's about self-esteem, self-confidence, and relationships. And the reason why I started this is because, honestly, my spirit, God told me to do this.
Right.
Since I was a very young lady, I met a lot of women in my life, and men, both men. I came from the hood. Staten Island, New York. Okay, Shaolin. Exactly, 151 Jersey Street, for all y'all listening.
Second floor.
Okay, so unfortunately, or rather fortunately, I grew up with 3 tough brothers, and they did not allow me to do what a lot of the young ladies out here are doing. And a woman of my age, I'm 41 years old. And when I
your
go,
mouth.
Yes, I am.
Talk about it, baby.
God is, honey. You know what they say, black don't crack. But anyway.
You ain't hang out in some of the places I've been at lately.
Well, that's
I'm
and I
with
say
her,
all
black
that
don't
to
crack.
say, when you go back into the hood or where you came from and you see the people you grew up with, don't they look a little washed up, a lot of them? Because why?
That's just
right?
because
Don't
they didn't take care of themselves.
They didn't take care of themselves, and unfortunately, they didn't
Stress.
have the guidance.
Right.
That's what it is.
The guidance.
Yes.
They didn't have the aunt, the sister, the
Yes,
brother, the
that's
mother,
right.
whoever it was, the best friend to help them. So with that being said, I got married very early on and I left. Never came back. Do I still come back? Absolutely yes, because I have so much respect for where I come from and the people who are there and everywhere, not just, all over.
Right.
I've been invited to different cities and countries to speak, and it's really important to me for not just these young ladies out here to get it together, but I have sister friends that are in their 60s and still don't have it together. And quite frankly, I don't understand what happened. Where was it? Then I came to realize one day I had an epiphany. You know what? We are a product of our environment.
Right.
What you see is who you become. What makes us different is the person that can break from that and look at it and say, okay, I see you, but that's not me anymore. I'm bored with this. And then you move on to the next level of your own self journey, and you kind of get to know yourself, and it's a very painful journey.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you look at yourself, you say, damn, really, D? I did all those things, but what makes me different from a whole lot of people, and down, you think you all that. Yeah, I am all that. Yes,
That's
I
right.
am. I
Yes.
certainly am.
We in church. She keep going,
Exactly.
I'm nodding too.
I
Count
certainly
that
am.
money with that
I
money.
believe we need who she is because I can see where she's going. Right, you're a product of your society. You got these little girls twerking because this is all they see on the internet. But yeah, I'm beating my daughter for twerking, and she's having a hard time understanding why she's in trouble.
Our bodies are simply, and they were telling us this since we were 12, your body's your temple. Your body's your temple. Now, I'm grown. If I want to sleep with somebody, and it's my decision, I have to also understand the consequences with coming with sleeping with that person.
Right.
No, I might not have a relationship with you tomorrow morning, but we did what we had to do. We had fun, and I'm out.
Or that woman.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and ask
like
you to
you.
marry me.
Yes.
I got things
There
to
is a
do.
God.
You know, I got shit to do. I'm just saying.
Hey.
Excuse my language, a family program, my bad.
Rodeo, what you getting us started?
Look, I'm sorry, but
It's all good. Keep
I've
going.
been known
You know
to
why
be.
they excited? Because that's a mentality a married man loves.
There you go. There you go. And I've been married. I was married for almost
But
15 years.
Diana,
Hey.
since you made a
I ain't never been married.
You made a
but
pit stop on that.
God bless
I
you.
love that life.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold
I love
on.
the
Y'all
single
made a
life.
pit stop there, so let's talk about that. Isn't that a part of self-esteem that you realize if you chose to do what you did with a man, that is because that is your decision, not because you were peer pressure, not because you felt like you had to do it, it's because it was a
Or
decision.
because you wanted to be liked.
Exactly.
You
So-
wanted to feel liked temporarily by
Right.
that man or the woman, because there's women out here who are vicious.
Yeah.
I know a lot of them,
Yeah.
and I'm actually, helping them now to get past that viciousness and say, I am about love. I am about being a woman. Now, it's not always, the men who are doing things to women. I've met many women who've done
Things to
a
men,
lot of things to
exactly.
men, and I'm mentoring them, both men and women now. Now, as you mentioned, Kevin, going back to that.
Right.
Yeah, having sex is an easy thing to do. Controlling your emotions after sex will determine who you are.
Right.
Not only just with sex, just with life
Right.
situations that go on. How is it that you're going to handle this? How are you going to take this today, tomorrow? When I wake up in the morning, you're gone, and I'm sitting there
Making breakfast.
making breakfast, thinking I was going to make breakfast for you, and you're gone because you had to go do whatever you
Took
were
a
going to do.
Pop-Tart and left. Right.
That's okay, because guess what? I'm going to still make my breakfast. I'm going to still make a cup of coffee, and I'm going to keep it moving.
That's right.
There's things I have to do, even if that means cleaning my house, even if that means going to the grocery store or setting up the next 3 events that I got to talk about. I don't worry about those things. I have very little time to even think of those things because I'm so
Into
constant.
you.
I'm so trying so hard to make myself a better person
Right.
every single day.
And like you said earlier, you made that decision because you're grown. You decided to do that, what you said. Like laying down with somebody, you made that decision.
Exactly. Just like, there's a big problem today that I've noticed. A lot of women sleeping with married men.
Talk about it.
Well,
Talk
Church,
about
the
it.
church got quiet. The
I
church
just-
got
I-
quiet.
look.
You ain't hear her.
Yeah, they sleeping with married
Say that
men.
again. Say that
Because
again.
like you said, they get used to living that lifestyle of I really don't have to be locked down to you. I can do what I want to do, run around like it's all good.
No, I-
Have you ever seen
Sometimes.
Have you ever seen the Maury Povich show? Have you ever seen Jerry Springer show?
Oh, I know somebody that loves Jerry
Ratchet
Springer.
TV. Yes.
Okay, well, guess what? I do the same thing. I get up every morning like it's time to go to work and watch this stuff because it gives me material as to what the hell is wrong with this world. It kind of makes me feel like, damn, D, your life is not that bad.
Right.
When a woman can get on stage and say, I don't care that, yeah, I knew you was married, and I don't care that you was married, and I don't care you got kids. All right, look. It gets down like that sometimes.
Right.
It does, because sometimes a woman can be very lonely.
I think the issue is when we talk. Hold on, see, when you talk about these things with like what we see in our society, it's because the greatest love of all should be of oneself.
Exactly.
So if I don't love myself, I don't care. I can
Oh,
care
I
less
love the
about
hell out
hurting
of
you
me.
or hurting your family or because I don't have any care about my own self. I think we look at the kids today. We see a lot of gang violence, and we say, why are these kids are 15 carrying around and they don't care, they live or die because they don't love themselves.
Absolutely.
So I know we
Low
talked about the
self-esteem.
relationship part, but I want to reach out. I know you.
Who
work with
just said
kids.
that? Who just said that?
What? Low self-esteem.
That's what I'm talking. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
So
why we
how
think
do
alike.
how do we help? How do we build the love of oneself? Because that is the key. Because if I love myself, if I take care of myself, I can spread that love to
You can
others.
respect others.
Your thoughts on that?
Everybody asks the same thing. They go, Danny, you're always preaching about self-love, self-esteem. How does one get that? No, it doesn't. It's not instilled in you when you are born. It's just like parenting. Nobody gives you a book to say this is how you're going to parent. Self-love takes work. It's work. You got to get up. And the first thing from my philosophy and what I teach men and women, it's faith. You got to
Yes,
start with
yes.
faith. You got to have love in God. You have to. And some people, I have a guy now that I'm talking to who does not believe in God. And I get it. And I look at him, and one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to judge. The best way for me to teach is through love and through understanding. And so what I try to do is say, okay, if you don't believe in God, we won't use the word God, but we'll use spirituality.
Okay.
You have to start with that, faith. Once you realize your worth, because God doesn't make mistakes.
Right.
Everybody
exactly.
sitting in this room is perfect in his eyes.
Right.
Right? So if your father died for you on the cross, I always say, I might not be perfect, but God saw it fit to die for me.
Right.
People, my question was, when somebody do come to you and say they don't believe in God, I ask, when I hear people say, I like to ask, what made you not believe in God?
Because remember what we just said from the beginning of this conversation. It's about guidance. If you don't have that guidance in your life somewhere, from when you're young, from you'll never exactly. Where are you going to get it from? If you have parents, absent parents, if you are sent from foster home to foster home, where exactly are you going to get this guidance from? You have to start somewhere.
And a person in a bad situation might feel like, who really loves me? How could there be a God and my life been hell? You know what I'm saying? So that's how they get deterred.
I think they look at their surroundings and see so much negativity.
A product
so they
of their environment.
Say, if there was a God, why would he allow this to happen?
I wanted to go back to loving yourself. I think loving yourself, you have to spend time with yourself. You got to know that you got to make yourself happy. Like, make yourself look good. Fix yourself up. Like, feel yourself. You know
I agree.
With the spirituality. But, love yourself. Do something for you. Do what makes you happy. That's part of loving yourself.
Makeup.
That's right.
Well, listen,
I make the hell out of me, and I love the hell out of me.
Absolutely.
That's why I love what you did last week, Diana. I know you had brought a bunch of girls into your studio.
Yes.
And made them look pretty.
That was nice.
And I think these are things, it's easy to say make yourself feel good, but it's people who are in some people in a very dark place. And it has nothing to do with finance. There's some millionaires in dark places.
I agree.
Right? So it's just about the aspect of, like, you know what, if I had this cryptic feeling about myself, my view of the world is going to be dark. If I got black shades in my eyes, I can't see color.
I agree.
And I think that's where a lot of problems are at. And it's a multitude of things that lead people down this path. I think from a country perspective, and we could talk about this all day, but some of the things that we see, our country accepting certain things are a reason why we have this cryptic thought. Sometimes the capitalist society could be positive for some and negative for others.
Absolutely.
It's just the way you look at things. So.
But like Diana said, I think it goes back to showing the love, giving the love, letting them feel the love. Because how could you want something that you never had or you never felt?
Right.
So when you love someone, then they can start appreciating that more.
I love y'all.
Good.
We love y'all too.
From a far distance.
But it's sad though, like what you said. I see a lot of women when they first see me and I get up on stage and I start, my event and I start talking about self-love and I introduce myself. At first they're looking at me like, this woman, and this has been said to me by hundreds of women, we look at you and we see you don't have problems. You're beautiful. You're this, you're that. Really?
Right.
Until I start going into it and I say, this is where I'm from. This is who I am. They're like, she went through that? You've been cheated on? You've been, you've had multiple failed relationships? You've done, yes, I have.
You had to reconstruct your mind.
Right.
Absolutely. And I don't make those mistakes anymore. Right. Now, am I ever not going to make a mistake? No, but I don't make those mistakes I used to make.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I just won't do that. Instead, a lot of women will spend $2,000 on a pair of shoes. Right. Okay, that's nice to have a pair of red bottoms on, but what is that really doing for your self-esteem?
So you got that in your banking account.
That's number one. You asking me for cab fare. That's number one. What the hell is going on here?
Yeah, because they mixed up in society. They feel like these name brands is what's going to make you. That's what makes you.
People are trying to find ways of pacifying themselves. It's a pacifier. A nice car can be a pacifier.
Completely.
People should feel much better having a stacked bank account. All that money you spend.
That's a pacifier as well to some people because there's millionaires that are unhappy. That's a
Kevin,
pacifier.
I just met a multi-billionaire who owns water. I cannot say his name.
Please don't.
Now, if somebody owns water, they doing something right, right?
Right.
Taxing on water. Only in
now,
America.
as I'm sitting there speaking to him and I'm interviewing, because that's what I do. I go around and interview perspectives. I said, are you lonely? Dana, I've been married for 50 years and I'm still lonely. but you're a multi-billionaire. I'm still lonely. The fact that he has all this money, the fact that you walk into his place and you're like, you could only wish you had this.
Right.
He has an elevator button with his initials on it. The void is not being filled.
Right.
Because he has a lack of faith.
Jesus.
That's exactly what it is. We said it at the same time, so you know when two or more come together and congregate, you know something's about to happen. So you and I know, we all know that it has to have, it's a lack of faith. And you could be beautiful, you could be rich.
Yep.
You know, I see some celebrities that come into my studio at times, and I'm looking at them, and you could tell they're unhappy.
Let's stay with the beautiful aspect.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you know, you're a very stunning woman. You speak well. You have all the appearances
Attributes.
that some attributes, accoutrement, I have to say, that you would want. Now, with that being said, you walk in a room. I know, like, when I'm in professional world, I'm in the professional industry myself. Normally, I have to sell myself every time.
Right.
It doesn't just work off face value. Maybe other people might have the luxury of doing. So when you have that, I'm sure you come professional. You got this beautiful woman of color. How do you get that situation where they're not looking at you aesthetically, but listening to what you have to say? How does that process work for you?
You know what, Kevin? I don't think it has ever worked out for me where any meeting I've ever had, any one-on-one conversation, except you, where the guy didn't try something. And that's
Right.
and now mind you, I'm 41 years old, so that's a long time dealing with it.
Yes.
And that's also a part of why I'm so strong.
Right.
I know how to handle it now. You know, I can deal with it, and I know it when I see it because I know. Like you said, you keep it real.
You have to go through it in order to
You
learn.
have to now, and this is what I'm trying to teach these girls to avoid what I've been through, and to use what I know, my knowledge, to handle certain situations.
Yes.
But no, Kevin, I have not been in a situation where a man has not tried in any type of negotiations, even when I was working in hedge funds.
Right. Now, I hear what you're saying, and I guess it's sad, and it's a blessing and a curse all the same way.
I agree.
Because I wouldn't, if somebody never looked at you, by saying, well, why am I looking at me? You know, we as people, we want some type of appreciation. I think that's some of the things that we do to help love ourselves.
Right.
Could be partly designed from what we get from the outside world. So with that being said, how do you maneuver to say, you know what, focus my mind and not my body?
That's a very, very good question.
That's why I do what
Nobody
I do.
has ever asked me that.
This is why I'm LeBron James with the mic.
That's a very good question, actually.
And you don't have to answer it now. We're going to have you on a little later. But, I mean, I think that's important because we have a lot of people who are listening. And we talk about this all the time here on the show about the twerking. Cece's dealing with at home. Where beautiful women feel I have to dumb myself down in order to be accepted.
Kevin, the truth of the matter is sometimes you do.
Okay, let's talk on it.
And
sometimes you
get
do.
tired of it.
Well, it's a thought process. It's a thought process. It's how, okay, if you notice Microsoft, if you notice Apple, all those thinkers, they were innovators. So how you handle it, you have to innovate your beauty and your mind. You have to, if you dumb yourself down, you're dumbing yourself down for the bigger picture. It's not like you're dumbing yourself down and staying there.
Right.
What I say is you go in for the kill. You want me to act like I'm a little Barbie? Okay, fine. But when I get you where I need you, then I'm going to show you who Diana is. And at that point, it's going to be too late.
I've had that with men when I've coached football and I've mentored young men. Whereas black men, we have a bass in our voice. Okay, we have a bass in our voice that sometimes to other groups can be perceived as threatening or menacing.
Yes.
You know, and
aggressive, right.
or, you know, threatening. And I tell the young men all the time, like, look, I'm not going to tell you not to be yourself. But when you're presenting yourself in a different world.
We had that conversation.
We talked about
that.
Yes,
we did.
You know, you have to sometimes put yourself in a different angle. Like, I make jokes all the time. Like I said, on Money to Friday, I'm Brian Gumble. Now, people laugh. But you know what? There is a perception of that. Because I'm giving off an image that, hey, I'm professional.
You got to know where you're at.
Right. You got to know the role.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Stay in your lane while you're there. And then when you don't have to be in that lane anymore, again, it's a matter of, Kevin, you said it perfectly. You know who you have to be 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, right?
Right.
But you also know your other side of you. If you're a human being standing here right now and there's only one side of you, I feel sorry for you.
Right.
It's like going to an interview. You'd be surprised how many people don't even know how to act in a job interview. You know, you got to know when to act a certain way. But
Exactly.
When you're around people, business, you got to know how to act another way. And like I said, he's good at that.
We got a minute left in the segment, Diana. I want to tell people they can find you at. They want to book you, information, communicate.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you can always reach me on Facebook. I have 2 Facebook accounts now.
Aren't you special?
No. It's once you hit 5,000, you have to go to another page, I guess. But it's Diana A. Bellamy is my new one, and Diana Bellamy is the old one. Twitter is Diana's Real Talk. I'm not going to give my phone number out, but my email address is.
That's all right.
That's something. It's you could reach me on my Yahoo account, dbellamy08@yahoo.com. We're actually getting ready to do my website. A lot of things are happening. Good things.
I'm really proud of you. I'm so glad we connected, and I'm so happy to have you on the show. We're going to keep you around a little longer. We're going to go to
No
news
problem.
next. Got the ladies from the Bartender Diaries in the buildings. Now, if you
All
lounge live on a
right.
Sunday, come on back.